Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, September 17th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And then also if you trade Bitcoin, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol BBLG. Very nice move today, and now a nice pattern has formed. So let's get this pattern drawn into play here. So we have our upper part of the pattern right there, the resistance, and then we have the bottom part of the pattern right there, the support. Let me change that to green to represent support, and then maybe make this all easier to see. Let's keep this one color. So we have our area of resistance, we have our support, we have the big explosive move right here, and then if you golfers try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here, this would be a bull pennant pattern. So while there are no guarantees in the market, is it plausible? Is it reasonable to think that the price comes up here and then eventually gets a break up through the top of the pattern right there, that break, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, but is it reasonable to think that if that breaks, that could lead to continued momentum and even more momentum? That is certainly a plausible scenario. So if you like stocks in this price range down below $5, you like bull pennants, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, NCNA, and nice well-defined pattern here too, more so in terms of where the sellers are hanging out and the key area of resistance. And that's right up here at about $7.55. Going through the history of things, you can see right there, rejected, rejected, false breakout. And even right here, didn't hit exactly, but got very close, rejected, very close, rejected. So more of the story right there at $7 and call it 55 cents will be that main battleground to watch moving forward. But then what's also interesting about this one is how it does have a nice upwards slope to it. So we have that line moving in the upwards direction. Change that to green, and then to once again turn this into a pattern. So we have our resistance, we have our support, big move up, golf hole down here. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So once again, if you like bull pennants, you're now starting to get quite a variety of them, especially if you like to stay down in this general price range. Next one, MLGO, and overall, the chart's hanging in there. It's getting a little iffy, but I would not call this chart destroyed, and I'll talk about that more so here. But yeah, no doubt about it. Huge move right here, and then yeah, came up to that pink line up there, the very famous 200 period moving average, and that's why it's famous, because when the price is down below it, it does tend to act as resistance as it did right there. That's not to say that the price can never break above that level. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price and this big surge, what a coincidence, was going up, 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 and then just right there, all of a sudden, it started to drop down. So moving forward, keep an eye on the 36 cent mark, as that'll be the current value of that 200 period moving average. But the main level that really stands out to me, and that what I would certainly call a must-hold level, is that purple line right there, the 50 period moving average, right now valued at right around 26 cents. And I say that it's a must-hold, and I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to come down to that level and then break down below it, what would that be doing to the price? That would quite literally be putting the price right back inside of this range where it just was. Or said another way, that would be implying that the price exploded and then went right back to where it was. Not exactly a sign of genuine strength. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is why that purple line is so important. Because even if the price just manages to stay above it, somewhere right around here, what would that be giving you? Well, that would be giving you a set of lows right here. You'd have those lows down there, and if you envision those as stair steps, you would have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction. So keep an eye on that as a level that I would definitely say is the must-hold level if this chart has any sort of chance of recovery. Next one, IMRX. Big mover today. Although for anybody that chased late afternoon, I'm going to think that there are some poor souls that bought right there. This has been a pretty nasty pullback, but then keep in mind that is in a very micro sense of things, because taking a step back, big picture-wise, price is still well above the lows of the day, which were right here, and the lows from Friday back around there. So when I say the chart's looking rough, I'm just talking about it from the vantage of people that were, buying up around this area and apparently chasing the price. But looking at things now from the bigger picture in terms of areas of support and pullback locations, nothing fancy here, just a foundational rule that when levels of resistance are broken, and that level here was an area of resistance. They tend to act as support. In fact, you can see this general area here acted as resistance too. So moving forward, $2.60 going to be a key level of support. And then from a more of an overarching standpoint, keep an eye on that purple line right there, 50-period moving average, as the name implies. That line will move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. But yeah, preferably speaking, in terms of what would make the chart look the best, definitely if the price can stay above that 260 mark. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground to watch moving forward, right up there around $3.47. So yes, late day today, looking pretty rough, but taking a step back, looking at the past couple of days overall, the trend is still in the bulls' favor. Next one, NVDA, and a kind of wild day today when you factor in the opening 30 minutes. And then things really kind of just narrowed down in a very big way. So I don't mean wild in the sense of the price was all over the place, huge ranges, but just how it started off in that big old range and then just got so tight relatively quickly. So on that note, the main area of resistance that stands out to me to keep an eye on moving forward, you're going to be right here at that trend line right there. And that also puts the trend line right up around the general area of that purple line there too, the 50-period moving average. So in some sense, it's basically a double whammy of resistance. That doesn't mean the price can't break through it, but it's looking like the price is going to have to bring its A game if it is going to be able to push up through it. And then on the flip side of that, I would just continue to watch that purple line, or excuse me, pink line right there, the 200-period moving average, which has done a beautiful job of holding that support. You can see right there, bounce, 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 bounce. So does that mean the price will continue to bounce that level? Of course not, no guarantees. But is it reasonable to think that it could bounce? Yeah, that's a reasonable thought. And just from a general health perspective, you want to see the price continue to stay above that 200-period moving average. But yeah, pretty wild day today, but let's see if the price can recover and push itself back above that resistance trend line. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the page where you can sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and not a whole lot to report on this one. Again, a kind of wild ride in the morning, and then things got pretty laid back. So from an overarching standpoint, nothing has changed. Assuming you've watched past videos, that red line up there still remains the key overall area of resistance up there right around 231.25. But what does make this interesting is that throughout the course of the day, notice what happened with the lows. Yeah, there were several pullbacks, but as I do this, what do you notice about those lows? Well, each low got higher and higher. Now, does that mean that this thing is getting ready to explode upwards? Again, no guarantees, but it certainly becomes plausible because you essentially have an ascending triangle here that is formed, which is a bullish pattern. So if you like those situations where you have a well-defined resistance, but then you do have the price slowly creeping its way upwards, that's a type of price psychology that you have going on in this situation. But again, overarching standpoint, not a whole lot changed, and that'll remain the case assuming the price stays below that 231.25 mark, because as of right now, that's definitely the key battleground. Next one, PLTR, and this thing, let me just offer up some more context, just continues in a very, very impressive uptrend. In fact, let's just start off by throwing this trend line in a play. Well, I was going to put the trend line there, but do you notice how it's basically covering up that purple line? So I'm just going to get rid of that, and let's just use the purple line itself as our trend line, because remember, that is a moving average, keyword being moving. And that's why I like to call moving averages trend lines for lazy people, because if you don't feel like drawing a trend line, then this line will quote-unquote draw itself for you, because as time goes by, that line will move itself higher and higher. So in other words, from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price stays above that purple line, then that does imply that the price is trending upwards by building those higher lows. In terms of levels of resistance, I'll zoom in here a little bit. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated here at all. Literally just a question of, okay, well, where did the party finally stop today? And the party stopped right up there at about $36.93. So again, no fancy logic or rationale, just a basic question, but a powerful question, because that's telling you where the resistance will be at headed into tomorrow. And then just in a very narrow sense, for those of you that like bull flags, you have yourself a nice little miniature bull flag right there. Next one, SOFI. Very, very impressive move. Again, just give context over the past several days. And then I think this trend line might be worth drawing because it's not going to be totally close to that purple line. Yeah, there we go. So we have this trend line right here, which is going to be the preferable level, or say, Clay, what makes this chart look the absolute best, the absolute healthiest moving forward? And that would be if the price can stay above that trend line right there. But if the price falls below it, that doesn't mean the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. Because as we've talked about already, that 50-period moving average essentially is that secondary trend line that's going to be drawing itself for you too. So, you could have some pretty wild pullbacks, but as long as the pullbacks at minimum stay above the purple line, then overall, by definition, the trend is still in an uptrend, and that's what you want to see. In terms of levels of resistance, again, no need to overcomplicate it, but you can see right here, several times the price did go up to right around $8.10 and couldn't quite push through it. So that'll be the main battleground moving forward. But in my opinion, the most important dynamic is just to watch these supports, because as long as the supports keep getting higher and higher and growing upwards over time, then that means that everything is still in that uptrend. Next one, OPEN, and this one I like quite a bit because there's just such a well-defined breakout area, and maybe you're already kind of noticing, but right here at $2.44, you can, now it's not exact, but generally speaking, you can see there is a general range up here where the price tried to push through, couldn't quite do it. And then once again, late day today, price surge. I mean, look at all that volume right there. Big volume, or big candle. But the power of charts, slight little breakout, but the momentum quickly disappeared. And now the price is back below that area. So all eyes on 244 moving into Tuesday. That is certainly going to be public enemy number one. And then in terms of levels of support, just continue to watch our purple line right there. We actually have a great example of that. Sure, the price didn't hit it exactly, but notice how the price got right around that general area and then, consolidated out and then made a big move in the upwards direction. So keep an eye on that if you like to play pullbacks or just looking to gauge the overall health of the chart. Next one, TQQQ. Overall, things are fine. Now, granted, there's a little bit of perspective. If you're some sort of swing trader and you bought right there and you wanted to play a gap up this morning or something, well, then, yeah, from that angle, the chart's not looking so good because it gapped down. But it's not like it was a gap down and then just bled the rest of the day. Leveled out relatively quickly and then just started to work its way back upwards. But again, this is where we go back to that purple line. So, yes, there was a pullback, but notice how the price never even touched that purple line. So, again, if you bought right there, yeah, you're probably not feeling too good about the chart. But if you do care about just the general health of the chart, the price is still above that purple line. So, from that angle, that's what matters most. So from a support standpoint, just continue to watch that purple line right now, valued at, we'll call it 65.50. And then resistance-wise, yes, you still do have that overarching level up there, but I will add in a little bit of a near-term level of resistance, which sits right there at $66.72. But like I said, big picture-wise, even with the pullback today, the overall trend still in the bulls' favor. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely go get signed up for the free class. It'll be later this week, Thursday, September 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope to see you there. It is a genuine live event, and I say that because there is a question and answer session. So if you have questions, bring them along, please. I'd be happy to answer them live for you. So, all right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours, not 30 minutes. I like to do that because Bitcoin is open 24/7. So in order for this analysis and video to remain relevant for as long as possible, using this longer time frame allows me to do that. So overall, not the greatest of weekends, not a terrible weekend or anything like that, but there was a good breakout that had occurred. But unfortunately, the breakout fell back below that 200-period moving average and fell back below this previous area. And I don't mean to keep bringing this up, but sometimes you'll just have those common levels. But check it out right now, where the price is basically starting to, putz around and go sideways. Yeah, you guessed it, that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. So that'll be question number one. So let's just assume you're watching this video 15 hours after I upload it. Question number one is just where's the price at relative to that 50-period moving average, currently valued at, we'll just call it $58,000. In any way, shape, or form, if you're saying the price is above $58,000, then I'm not going to say that means the chart is great, but that at least means the price is continuing to just consolidate sideways. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below 58,000, well, then that's where common sense comes into play. Well, how far down below it? The further down below it, the more and more bearishness things have become. And I would definitely consider a very important level right down here at 55,500. So if somehow you're answering the question that the price is down below 55,500, that'd be a pretty big red flag that the bears are back in full force. I don't think you'll be answering it that way, but just in case, that would be a key level. Now, also on the flip side of things, the other dynamic to keep an eye on from resistance is also that trend line right there. So I doubt you're answering it this way, but you never know. If you are answering the question that the price is up above that trend line right there, that would just be telling you that the bulls have shown up and shown back up in a big way. So keep your eye on these levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep Bitcoin relevant until I'm back to get the next update about 24 hours from now. As I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely go get signed up for this free class, because what you'll learn about can and certainly should be used within the world of crypto and Bitcoin. So like I said, the class will be later this week, Thursday, September 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I mentioned earlier, bring your questions for the live Q&A. All right, if you enjoy these videos, as always, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Make sure you're a subscriber if you have not subscribed so you know that new content is released. So thanks for watching. Go get signed up for that free class.